Yo, 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 what's up? Hold on, everybody. There we go. There we go. Hold on. I'm going to change. Hold on. There we go. I don't know if that helps or not. My lighting's always so off. Hold on. Maybe this works better. There we go. I don't know. It is just one of those times, right? Let me see. I'm doing this video on this Monday and what the energy is like. It's low. I put it, if you watch my daily horoscope on the app, I put it at low. I very rarely put energy at low. But we're at what I like to call an in-between spot, an in-between zone. Getting prepared to change signs, getting prepared to get out of Mercury retrograde, getting prepared for the first of 2 full moons that will be in Sagittarius. So, a lot to get ready for, and the energy is suppressing and just kind of stopping for a second. Because, you know, whenever you have a moon in Libra, and then you got the sun in Taurus, you're dealing with the sun and the moon in the Venus-ruled signs. And Venus isn't much of an action taker. It isn't much of a... I mean, it does do things, but it doesn't really... You know, it's a grazer, it's a ponderer, it's a questioner, it's a taking time. It's a weighing out, you know. Venus doesn't just, it's not Mars, right? You know, I mean, Venus rules women, right? Women, you know, aren't the ones that usually are the ones that just, well, I've met some women that are the initiators sexually or in relationships, but it usually is more the man, you know, like the man wants to rush in. It's like, oh yeah, first date, I don't care kind of energy, you know. Women are more like, no, third, fourth date, da 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 da. We got to weigh things out. We got to make sure this is right and valuable. So when you get both the sun and the moon right now in Venus-ruled energy, everything kind of, especially with Mercury retrograding in a Venus-ruled sign, it just kind of, everything kind of just, it kind of stops, and you kind of just, you know, do the daily motions. But, you know, it's getting things done that have already been done. Trying to initiate or start something new is never easy at this spot. Or trying to open up for something new to come into your life at this point is usually not easy. So, kind of a weird energy to be under right now. Hold on one second. Leo King Studios.
The promotion where you can save up to 80% on ventilation cleaning.
Oh yeah.
Clean out all the ducts and give you a full 16-point furnace inspection.
Wow.
Ensure that your family is breathing clean air.
I need to be breathing clean air.
No hazards in your home caused by unclean heating and cooling systems.
Oh.
All for $45.99.
That's it.
1 to be transferred to a specialist, or 8 to be taken out from our call list.
Give me to a specialist. This is how you guys do things. Hold on one second. Hold on.
This is Chris. May I help you?
Yeah, I would like to get taken off this list. That was quick. Homeboy didn't want to talk for 1 second. Then they hung up on me. That's the beauty of America, that you can do that. So, don't ever spend money right now on ads or things when people aren't ready to even start. Like, the last thing on earth I'm going to do is spend $45 on air duct cleaning. That's just not what it was the last thing on my mind right now, you know? Especially in Mercury retrograde, just a waste of money. Just like a waste of time, you know? Especially on this Monday, you know? It's just like not the time to do that shit, you know? So it is kind of weird to see the energy. Oh, I didn't, hold on one second. It sucks. So I just like Solar Fire. I use Solar Fire, which is an awesome program for astrology. And it doesn't work on my new, I just redid Windows and cleaned it all up. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on my new PC, you know? So it's like really upsetting and totally pissing me off. So it's like I have to use it on Windows on my Mac, which already the Windows doesn't work great on that Mac, on this Mac. It's just Mercury retrograde crap, you know? It's been hard because I've been doing readings for people and, you know, switching back and forth between operating systems on a computer is not easy, you know? But I wanted to just take a look at what's going on with everything. What's going on, everybody? I'm actually reading the comments now. I wasn't reading them earlier. I was just kind of like, just kind of here, you know? Even this whole video is very the energy today, you know? Oh, Huey, what up, doggy? Hope you and Dougie Fresh are making some deals over there. You guys making some deals? Is Mercury retrograde good for budgeting? Yeah, actually, believe it or not, I had a great meeting with my accountant last week, especially Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Amazing for budgeting. I would say not, you know, in accounting. Of course, there's always little things that you forget to maybe add into your budget, but that's why you add it in, and it helps you review. So going after this Mercury retrograde, man, I've got a huge budget. I've got a huge accounting. And every month, you know, I know what I need to spend, what I'm not going to spend, what money's going where, what money I should save, what money I'm going to put in this account. And so for me, the Mercury retrograde for accounting-wise has been good. This Mercury retrograde has been really weird because it's been a lot more physical stuff. For me, it was like my tooth. For me, it was like just weird shit. Like I got a flat tire and they don't cover the tire. It was too big of a nail, so I had to go buy another tire, and then they had another tire in stock, so then I got to wait a couple days, and it was happening on a Saturday, so I had to wait till today, and now they still haven't called me back. And they said it was going to be done 2 hours ago. So, you know, it's kind of like weird physical stuff with delays, you know. Relationships have been a little weird, I'll be honest, you know, during this Mercury retrograde. You know, thinking one direction and then being like, no, I don't know. Everything's been a little just weird. And the reason why I think that is because whenever you have Mercury retrograde and then you have Mars retrograde, and you have both kind of not exactly opposing, but they're close to opposing, and they will come to an opposition soon when Mercury comes direct and goes over it. But you know, it makes for this kind of weird period that we very rarely go through to have these two planets retrograde at the same time. And these are the two planets that we all hate retrograde. We all don't like it. Like, I don't know one astrologer that likes Mercury retrogrades, I'll be honest. And I don't know, especially if you're Mercury ruled or you have a lot of Mercury energy in your chart like I do and you're a communicator and you're ADHD, like I don't like Mercury retrogrades. They make me feel like I'm stuck on an airplane for 20 hours and then it starts circling for another 48 hours, you know, and they keep fueling it up and you're not allowed off the plane. That's what a Mercury retrograde feels like for me. I get anxiety when they come. Like the day Mercury goes retrograde and the day after, I have a lot of anxiety. I'm like, and then the day that it stopped before it goes direct, I have a lot of anxiety too because I'm like, oh God, this is just too long and I don't like it. But when you have Mars retrograde, which is already the retreat mode, it's already, you know, us having to look back and cut away, you know, where Saturn was. You know, that's the way that this has been working. You know, Saturn cuts, you know, teaches us stuff. Mars comes through and then cuts away where Saturn went and then pushes it forward. So this is a time of like reviewing where there's been lots of difficulties and work and hardships and learning to cut that stuff away. It's positive though. I think Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde are both positive because they do positive things, but it's just not like a fun process, you know? And it always is a past process, and it always is dealing with things that, you know, you got to clear so you can move into the future. I'm much more of a future person. I love the future. That's why I'm an astrologer. I'm always thinking about my future lives and being on spaceships and like, you know, when are people going to get over, you know, I don't know, certain things in life and move into a whole different direction. And go more into the future, you know? It's like, I guess when Pluto in Aquarius happens, that's when that's going to happen. You know? So, this is turning more into a rant than an astrology video. Let's see if we can get the... Okay. Let's see if we can get solar fire up here. Womp, womp, womp. I've cut down on Sprite a little bit lately. A little bit. Instead of like 4 a day, I'm like down to like 3 a day. You know? Oh. Okay, I could position. I don't even think you guys can see. Oh well. Long story short, not much going on in the astrology, to be honest with you. Kind of an easy 3 days here. Now, when the moon comes into Scorpio, it gets more intense. That happens Thursday. You'll feel that more Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, that gets more intense because the sun's going to move into Gemini, believe it or not, on Friday. So Thursday, moon in Scorpio, you know, which is really intense because there's a lot of energy, and a Mercury retrograde is stopping in the opposite sign of Taurus. And then we have this full moon, which is going to cover all this stuff this weekend. So, by Saturday. So, you know, use this next 3 days. Use today. Use tomorrow. Use Wednesday to really kind of don't throw anything extra on your plate. Because there's going to be so much on your plate in those days that, you know, you're going to wish you had taken the time to kind of chill and relax a little bit and use this kind of suppression moment in the universe to kind of relax on it, you know? Somebody put, my moon is about to progress into Cancer. That's awesome, Lou. My moon's been progressing Cancer for the last 2.5 years. Does great things. I've moved into a great place. It does great, actually, too, for money. It does great for making you feel secure. It builds security in your life so you can go for the next 30 years and kind of have a progressed emotional position of knowing what security is and knowing how to attain security. And it's a cardinal sign. So whenever a progressed moon comes into a cardinal sign, you're going to notice that your life takes a whole new direction, a new fresh start, and kind of a whole new fresh approach to things. Progressed moon in Gemini usually is endings, breakups, craziness, losing of the mind, all over the place, feeling like you're kind of on a merry-go-round and it's up and down, left and right. Progressed moon into Cancer really does kind of stable things out, but you have to take care of things more on the deeper internal aspect. It is the bottom of the chart. You remember that, you know? So, and it is the moon in its natural home. So you deal with more of an internal world more extremely. And that can be like really intense, you know, when you deal with a lot of those kind of emotions, you know. So have fun with that progressed moon in Cancer, you know. Oh, and it's 8th house. Yeah, so it's... And that's not a bad thing. You know, the houses with progressions, I'm going to just be very honest. I believe that the progressed... Well, from my personal experience in progressed moons, I believe just in the sign. Like, okay, it's just Cancer. You're going to be dealing with Cancer stuff. You know, you're going to be dealing that. The houses and progressions, I don't know. You know, the only time I really feel that progressed planets are a big deal are when they cross any of the access points. So if like the progressed moon comes over your midheaven, yeah, now that's going to be, you know, a big deal. Or when the progressed moon crosses your rising sign. Or like for me, I was born sun in the 12th house, so when my sun progressed over my rising sign was my biggest reality show on ABC. It was like I came out of the closet, not because I'm gay, because I'm not gay, but like, you know, I came out of the 12th house, you know, it's like, oh, here, let me show the world the Leo I really am, you know? So it's like, that to me is those progressed houses per se, or access points, are more of where I believe there is something happening. But like, let's just say progressed moon just floating in the middle of the 9th house. Like, it's just like boring. I believe more in the progressed moon making aspects. So like if it's going to square Pluto, like, sorry, we had a little alarm there. My progressed moon's going to pass Pluto or square Pluto next month. So, you know, it's like kind of a big deal. And my progressed moon's about to go into Leo, where I'm a 0 Leo. So it's about to come on my sun, and I'm sun square Pluto. So I know that in the next month and a half, 2 months, boy, my life's about to go through some really crazy shit. All while this Sun and Venus conjunction new moon's going to happen in my 10th house. You know, I got a lot of shit about to go on. But that's how you use astrology. You know, you use the progressions to kind of be the base notes. You use the transits as the high notes. And whenever those high notes and those base notes come together at the same time, that's when you know that astrology is real. That's when you know that you are going to have life-changing moments. But all this like, oh yeah, so, you know, some days it's like, okay, great. I just had Venus trine Jupiter recently. It was just another day. I had a nice day, but it didn't do anything life-changing. When you do like any of these, just like kind of like basic transit stuff, it never really, I don't know. It never really does, you know, astrology justice. I think that you need to be be more masterish with astrology and use progressions, use solar arcs, use the combination with the transits. Those are the transits that only make sense to me. When I do somebody's reading, I don't even pay attention to those. I don't just pay attention to transits. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's nice. You know, you'll have like a couple days of that, and that's it. I look for more of what the transits are happening during extreme progressed moments in somebody's chart, or more importantly, if they're extreme transits, like long-term transits, like Saturn moon stuff, or Jupiter, you know, on any of the access points, or Saturn on any of the access points. The outer planets transiting the sun or the moon. Those are usually more intense. But, you know, I don't really get into all the transits. Even though I'm a master, I know every stupid transit there is. You know, it's so funny. I have a friend of mine who loves astrology, and she'll always be like, oh, yeah, so what does it mean, you know, Venus square Saturn or Venus square Jupiter or whatever. And she's like, well, read it out of the book. And I'll give my explanation. And she's like, oh, my God, it's so much, you know, better than the book. Like, I could just be a book of it if I want to. But in a reading, I don't want to be that. And when I connect with my guides and I do a reading for somebody, that's not the reading they get. I'm really good at doing the math for exactly when the most life-changing moments are going to hit somebody's life. And when they're spiritually going through the most. And when they are going to go through the most. And I am extremely dead on when it comes to whether it can be based off this energy, like a relationship, a sexual energy, whatever it's going to be, because those progressed solar arc transits combined with the transits of the astrology, that you need to have in all synchronistic practices, you got to have what I call multiple signs. Not one, not two, but three. So when I do a reading, I need to see at least 3 signs that this shit's going to go down. And I need to, then if you add tarot, and if the tarot says it, that's like the fourth, that's like the bonus round. All tarot to me is supposed to be used for is the bonus round. All tarot is like, hey, yeah, this shit's real. It's just like a confirmation tool. I don't ever base my life off a tarot reading. I would never in my life ever, because it's coming from humans. It's coming from, no. The divine God can only speak through synchronicities, and through God can only speak through astrology, I believe. I think that it's hard for God to speak through tarot. I think God can only kind of like triple confirm things through tarot. Like, it's just like, you know, after we've already known we're going to do it and we look up in a shooting star, like, you know, it's like that's kind of the tarot, like, is that like little shooting star, that little extra that kind of goes, oh yeah, that's it. But I've never been one to base any of my life off a tarot reading, because I believe that is, this is my belief, it's not pure. I need the astrology. I need to see God's talk first. I need to see the math. I need to see the synchronicities in the math first. If the math doesn't match, it's just like in business. You know, a lot of people like go, I believe even though the math shows this business is going to fail. I believe more than anything. And then the business fails. And that's why 90% of businesses fail, because people get the loan anyways. They don't have the math to back it up. Like, the business isn't making money, and then they fail. It's like, same thing goes with spirituality. It's like, if the math is not connected, and that's with numerology or astrology, and if that's not in alignment with everything, if that little tarot reading, you win off that, God, I feel bad for you in a way, because it's like there's no connection to all of the depth. And I'm a tarot reader myself, but I use tarot as at last. If you notice with me, on my daily horoscopes, I do the horoscope first, then I do the tarot to kind of be like, yeah, this is kind of how that energy will go. But never do I do the tarot first. Never. Never, 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 never. Never will I open a reading with a tarot reading. I will close with a tarot reading, but I will never open with one. I will never just do a tarot reading and actually be 100% guaranteed that that's going to happen to the person. I can't guarantee that. I will be like, no, I can't guarantee it. Maybe we'll get close, you know, but 100%, it has to be, God has to talk. I need to see God. If I don't see God, I'm sorry, you know, and I believe God can talk through tarot, but later down the line. Later down the line. You mix with other entities too with tarot. You know, you got to be careful when you're just using divination tools like tarot, like a pendulum, like, what are they called? I forgot the name. You know, what is the little thing you do? Even crystal work, you know? Like, all that stuff I think needs to come secondary to seeing the artist synchronicity, personally. That's me, though. Runes. That's what it is, yeah. I got a set of runes. I don't ever use them, though. Never was a rune guy. I do work with crystals. Not very strong, though. I'm very futuristic. I'm Palladian. Came here doing my disruption. Not too focused on that stuff. Palladians really, you know, they use crystals too, but I'm like more of the military side of the Palladian energy, which is blast you with information, blast out systems, you know, rally troops up and get them moving, tell you what to do. I feel like a lot of spirituality, it's too open formatted. Like, well, it could possibly be this, you know? It's like, I kind of try to guide people and be like, go here, go there, don't do this, do that. This is what the astrology is saying, go there. Like, I'm much more of a pusher. I believe crystals are more of like a container or a protector or like a, like an enhancement to things, so it's almost like putting like tin foil on the radar. That's what I think crystals are. Is like, ooh, we need more connection. So let's like add a little bit more. But I think that's all crystals are, the tin foil to the antenna. Like, I believe the antenna is, you know, learning how to channel, being connected with synchronicity, knowing how to read the divine order of the universe. Like, that's, to me, the highest of all highest. That's the master of all master levels. And so all that other levels, like it is like the Illuminati pyramid, you know? The all-seeing eye is the divine universe, and knowing how to understand through your third eye the all-divine universe. Oh, my boy's here. I'm gonna have to go in a second, but you know, the divine universe. What did this person just say? You just dated yourself with your tinfoil? Yeah, I did. I've been dating myself for 4 years now. True story. You know, I don't know if you guys watch much. This is like the view. That's great. So like sitting here, I got my Spotify open, and then we've got CNN on, right? And it's like all CNN talks about all day. I don't know. I feel like CNN now, and I used to like them a lot. I used to be a big CNN fan, and I still watch them. CNN to me is, I believe they've become a reality network. Not only all their shows have turned to reality based, but even their news. Their news has turned into big stories. So like, let's take, for example, today, they showed about that shooting that happened with the bikers a year ago. Or the prescription drug thing. Like, they take things and just make it extremely huge. I'll look at it, just says here. Like, okay, look at biker brawl tonight. CNN 9. They don't really report on news anymore. They just take stories and blow them out of proportion and make them reality shows. They just make reality shows out of their whole news. So like, for example, Trump today is being criticized because of how he treated women. And it was the big news in New York Times. But then, you know, the girls are coming out and saying that's not true. And even though it's not all of them, but some of them. But so anyway, they make this huge big deal out of like these little stories. Like, that's somebody else's story. There's a billion other things going on right now on the planet, on the earth, in every city, in every state around this nation, and we don't hear about any of it. Our local newspapers, our local, you know, stuff, that shit tells us everything. I go to my like Orange County Register and I'm like, holy shit, a guy last week tried to rob a liquor store down the street from me, and holy cow. You know what I mean? That news is like news to me now. When I turn on CNN, I'm like, oh, well, this is just reality TV about the world. Like, taking things and blowing them out of proportion and extremely making them entertaining and exciting to watch. Like, and they can only do that by adding drama to them, by creating more of the story. Basically, all the news networks now have turned into TMZ, just with real life stories. You know, all of them. Doesn't matter, Fox News, MSNBC, all that shit. It's like, there really is no more news except your local newspapers. And I think it's funny that most of them are going out of business because they can't print anymore and nobody's buying them. And so the mass media did a really good job of like finding a way to centralize media and take away the media that was localized. And, you know, that's kind of sad, you know? But it's just my opinion, you know? That's my opinion. I know, you know how funny. December on the calendar. Shoot, therapy, shoot, edit, doctor, refill, commercial. I don't use that calendar. I use a digital calendar. You know what I mean? Like, the digital calendar works way better at my office. I don't use this shit. Never do. Ever. I think I lost the pen for it. To be honest with you, I think I lost the pen. I'm like, where the fuck is the pen at? Like, I gotta switch the calendar. I actually thought it was a good idea when I saw it at Staples. It was like $35 too or something. And now I don't use this shit. Ever. Never. Sorry, I feel like I'm like a creep ball. My buddy's here. My buddy and I are working on my truck. Poor dog. Hi, Kea. I know that poor dog, Kea. Does that dog still live a poor life? Does it? Not that you'll notice. Goodbye, distracted David. My friend's here. He's just outside finishing a cigarette. I would join him, but I quit 3 years ago. Courtney. I know Tom's outside. He's having a cigarette. I know, life. But anyway, so I hope this video helped. I hope everybody kind of got what they needed out of it, where I think the energy is. And of course, I have an uncut coming out tomorrow night. Cigarettes have vitamins? Do they? I'll be honest. I used to feel great smoking cigarettes for a long time. There was never a time when I'm like... The only time I didn't like smoking if I was like really sick, but I would still smoke anyway. You know, I'd still find a way to walk out on the patio and be like, oh, I feel like death. And I'd smoke and I'd be like, that would be the only smoking I'd ever not like. But for the most part, I enjoyed every cigarette. I mean, I don't know how many thousands I smoked. On one of my apps here, I have like, you know, smoking cessation app where it says how many cigarettes you haven't smoked and all that crap, you know. Hold on one second. You guys are going to laugh when you see the numbers here. Okay? Okay, so I quit on February 6th, Oh, of course they have ads. That's how they make their money. Okay, so February 6th. Oh, hold on. Let me. Okay. February 6th, 2013 at 10:48 a.m. I quit. That's been 1,195 days. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I've saved $7,171. I haven't smoked 23,903 cigarettes. That's 99 days saved in my life. So 23,000 times 903. So let's watch this here, all right? Watch this, okay? So 23,903. Now that's for 3 years, let's say. I smoked for 10 years. Well, I was 27 or 28 when I quit, and I smoked from 16, so that's 12 years. So minus 3 is 9. So let's times that by 9. That means I've smoked 215,000 cigarettes in my life. So that means I had 215,000 good ones. 215,000 good cigarettes. Maybe out of the, maybe out of the 127, right? So out of the 120, there was maybe like 127 of them weren't that good, you know? Or maybe those were like ones where you light one and then it's like, oh, I got to go inside and I got to throw it out. And you're like, oh, God, can I put it somewhere? I don't know. You know, like I guarantee there was 127 of those. And then we'll take 1,000, let's say, out of that 215,000 and say like, yeah, those weren't good. So I'd say about 214,000 of them were pretty decent, you know? You got much great vitamins then. Yeah, I did. I got a lot of good vitamins out of those cigarettes. You know what a great idea. Like, if you're going to have cigarettes, you may as well throw, like, vitamin B in there, something to inhale, or I don't know. So, well, okay, how much Sprite have I consumed? Definitely not as much, because, so I have on average, let's say 3 a day. Okay, times 7 days a week. That's 21. Okay, times 4 weeks a month. Or wait, let's do that again. Hold on. Believe it or not, I suck at math. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 So times 52 weeks out of the year is 1,092. I've been drinking soda since I was 5. I'm 31. So let's say, times, let's say like 25 years. So I've had sodas in my life. 27,301. I used to not drink Sprite. I used to drink Mountain Dew. That was my drink. And I quit caffeine when I quit cigarettes, because if you get caffeine in me, I like buzz up, and then the first thing I think about is, where's the cigarette? That's the first thing I get when caffeine's in me. Caffeine and cigarette. Caffeine, cigarette. That's why I had to quit coffee. Because it was like, oh my God, I have to smoke. You know? That's why I quit everything. That's why I quit drugs. That's why I quit marijuana. That's why I quit cigarettes. That's why I quit alcohol. That's why I don't literally do anything. I literally am on like air, water and Sprite. And people think I'm fucked up. So funny. It's so funny that like the more normal you are, I feel like doing drugs makes people like not intense and crazy, if that makes sense. I think it makes them suppressed and boring and quiet. You know what I mean? My vice. You want to know my vice right now? Ooh. The moon doesn't come into Scorpio for a couple days. Can't give away everything. I would say that my vice now, and always has been, searching for love. I think that's a big one of mine. Like searching for like the greatest love on the planet. That's a vice of mine, because I think it can hurt people. Because I'm a double Leo, so I can give a lot of love to somebody, and they'll get that, and then I'm gone, you know, like moved on to the next thing. Like maybe I didn't feel like that was the greatest love, you know. So it's like hard when it like I come with this like really crazy positive energy, and then like, you know, I move to another place, you know, and then it's like I don't know. So another let me see, another vice of mine. Electronics. I collect, I buy, spend a lot of money on electronics. So I have every new TV. I make 3 4K TVs. I have actually, yeah, like new computers. I have 2 cell phones. I'm around a lot of EMF, you know, like electronics. Like I'm a nerd. Like I gotta have the newest of it all. Same thing with like my truck. Like I need to buy a new truck every couple of years. Like I just can't like. I'm at Moon and Taurus. Like if it's a couple years old, I'm like, oh my God, this thing's old. I'll never buy a used car unless I'm broke. When I was broke, I used to buy used cars. But you know, I work my ass off. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to buy a new car. You know? Somebody said ego. I don't know if ego is a vice of mine, because ego is a good thing. I think I have a really pure and good ego. I'm not afraid to be who I am. I'm not afraid to know my direction. Most people think ego is associated with like being an asshole and arrogant and being narcissistic, but ego is also your identity. It is also clear direction. It is also being one who uses to be a leader. So I think that I have a great ego, and I think that I use my ego for good. You know, I use my ego to like help other people. And it takes balls every day to step up and tell the world astrology. Even I have family members who are Christians who look at me like I'm crazy, you know, and think I'm going to go to hell probably. They don't get it. You know, it takes a lot of balls to do that. It takes ego to do that. You don't have an ego, you're not going to do that, you know. So whoever put that, like, it's definitely not a vice. I think you can tell. Like, and you know, some people get triggered by that. Some people get triggered by people's egos, because we've been taught in our society that ego's bad on purpose. You know why? Because the more people without an ego, the more they can become sheep, the more that they can listen to what talking about earlier, what CNN is going to tell you on how to live, and what Mark Cuban's going to say, and how you should listen to what he says, and especially Aaron Burnett and how it's like, oh, well, Aaron Burnett says I should do this, so maybe I will. You know, it's like, phew. Aaron Burnett, like I give a fuck what that girl thinks. Sure, I'll listen to what she has to say. If she has something good to say, and if I agree with it, it's good. But if she tells me about what to do, it's like, that's what you're seeing on CNN. That Don Lemon guy, I hope that guy gets kicked off the air. Honestly, that guy, you can tell who he likes, who he doesn't like. And he literally, like, puts down people without putting down people and talking about it. Like, that guy, literally, I hope I can get on his TV show and expose that guy. Because that guy is such a little bitch. I hate to be honest. That guy's a little bitch. You know what my vice is? Is that I'm too raw and real. And I'm not afraid to cuss. And I'm not afraid to just rip you the truth and just throw it down your throat. You know what I mean? That's my vice. Is that my mouth. My mouth. Makes me a great kisser, though. You know? So. Well, after all that, well, anyway, I'm trying to read all your guys' comments. They're crazy. But, love you all. Really good time talking to you. You'll see me on the Uncut tomorrow. And I'll see you guys later. Woo! From the Leo King Studios, I'm out.